Do you want me to just start or? Do I just start or? Good afternoon, everybody. I will go ahead and get started today. And I also am joined with Chief Kenny Winslow of the Springfield Police Department. Thank you for being here today. There are not adequate words to express the impact of yesterday's events at Lanphier High School. First and foremost, my heart goes out to Pierre Scott's family. Their loss and their grief are immense and unimaginable. We look forward to ways to support them in their time of need and honor Pierre's life. I had a long conversations with his mother today. I am also so deeply concerned for our students of Lanphier and those across the district who knew Pierre as they mourn their peer and try to make sense of the tragic circumstances. Our focus will continue to be on the sense of safety and well-being of all students in District 186 and those of the Lanphier Lions. I would also like to acknowledge the noble acts of Lanphier staff who sprang into action and have confronted every educator's worst fear. Lanphier students and staff need space to process and heal, and we will be there alongside them. We are committed to making sure our staff and students feel safe and cared for, and we will continue to listen and respond to their needs. Social workers and psychologists have been on site all day, as well as many administrators across District 186, and these services will continue as long as they are needed. About half of Lanphier students were in attendance for the entire day today, and all absences were excused if they did not wish to come to school. It is our goal and our responsibility to provide safe and secure school environments. We will look to increase security measures in the coming days to support our students in the short term, and also enhance our overall security practices and infrastructure and make adjustments as necessary. Every student present at school was scanned with handheld metal detectors during first hour this morning. Lockers were searched by our canine handler and dog. 3 on-duty Springfield police officers were present, as well as 3 retired off-duty police officers that were on patrol at the school today. We know it has been reported that there was not an SRO on duty on the day of the incident. That's a student resource officer. The assigned SRO was on an approved medical leave, and a recently retired law enforcement officer was assigned and present for the entire day covering the SRO duties, in addition to our amazing security staff. We are thinking about the short-term and long-term security in our buildings. Our facilities master plan includes designs for secure entrances at each high school that are wired to accommodate more permanent metal detectors. Thank you for allowing us to make a statement today and share once again our condolences for the loss of Pierre. I'll now turn it over to Chief Winslow for a few words.
Good afternoon. Just to echo what Ms. Gill stated, these type of events affect not just the school and the school community, but our entire community and everybody who lives here and resides here, whose children go there. It creates fear amongst our community, and it creates fear amongst the students. And we're here to work with District 186 in partnership to go ahead and make the schools as safe as possible. And again, my heart and feelings go out to the entire community, but also to the victim's family. It's just a tragic incident. There's no way to explain how we feel about that. Again, these type of incidents haunt our community, and each time they occur, they continue to cause greater fear and greater unrest in our community. So working together with District 186, we will do everything in our power to assist them to make sure our schools are secure.
Thank you, Mr. Winslow. Are there any other questions that either Mr. Winslow and I can address from our media sources?
This question is for Chief Winslow. This is Cole Hankey with WCIA. Have there been any arrests made in this investigation? Do the police have anybody in custody?
No, not at this time. Obviously, our detectives are still following up leads. They were at the school today, as well as out in the community, following up those leads. I anticipate that obviously that we have identified a person of interest, and I anticipate that person being brought in to be interviewed in the near future.
Why have they not been brought in yet if the school district knows 3 students were involved and you have that student identified?
It's still about putting people together and then locating the subject, obviously. Again, we have that person of interest identified. It's about locating them, but I anticipate, again, that this will be a matter of time before we bring them in to be interviewed.
Any help the public can be in helping find the suspect, if that's the big hurdle right now?
Well, obviously, this suspect, I'm not going to get into a lot of it, or this person of interest is a juvenile, so I can't explain a lot about or give a lot of details about who they may be. But obviously, with that said, due to the juvenile laws are out there, there's confidentiality around that, and I cannot share that name. Like I said, I anticipate, obviously, we know who this person is. We're following up leads, putting things together. And again, I anticipate that we will be interviewing this person in the near future.
Hi, hi there. This is Riley Eubanks with the State Journal Register. I was going to ask if there's any update, I guess, with the second student who was injured and transported to Memorial, I believe.
The last update I had on that is that the student is in stable condition and expecting a full recovery.
Okay, and then just to confirm, are all I guess the 2 injured students and both the person who was everybody involved with the incident, all Lanphier High School students?
Again, at this point in time, with this being an ongoing investigation, I don't want to get into details of that investigation. As I stated earlier, it does involve juveniles, and so I'm limited in what I can say about that. We will provide additional information whenever we can.
There are a couple questions in our chat room, so I can try to address those. One is, what is the protocol for staff when incidents like this occur? Every single school in District 186, and actually every single office building as well, has a security protocol that we create and we put in place if there's any security issues, either from the outside of the school or inside the school. We have those created there. We give copies to all administrators in the building. We train all of the staff on those procedures. And I can't tell you enough the pride that I have in how the staff responded to this incident and caring for the young man and helping secure the scene and doing everything that they could. It was outside of the school building a few minutes after school had been dismissed, and there was still coverage at every point and corner, and the staff moved quickly and safely to help the child in need. So I hope that answers your question. I believe that was from Jordan Elder.
Superintendent Jim Leach here at WMAY. Can you mentioned something about the possibility of more permanent metal detectors. Is that something that's being considered for Lanphier, perhaps for all the city high schools, to move to metal detectors as a regular part of daily security?
So we've actually been seeking bids and looking into the cost of those metal detectors as a part of our overall facilities plan. As you know, we'll be breaking ground on a brand new Lanphier High School here in just a couple of months. And that is a part of our plan of action, is to build the entryways and the student entrance areas with the right electrical systems and the right framing, so that would be easy and useful to the school on a daily basis. So yes, Jim, to answer your question, is just come a time when, with our facilities plan, I believe we can do that and do so in a way that will have all the infrastructure to make it work.
And is that also under consideration for the other high schools?
Yes, very much so. And we'll be looking at it as we move forward with any of our middle school structures as well. As you know, Jen, we've talked about this before. It's not just about buying the device and the infrastructure. It's about the training and the personnel and the costs and just finding the manpower that goes along with that. So all of those things will have to be considered, but we're willing to do so, and we have been out actively doing so.
Chief, was the weapon recovered at the scene? And do you have any indication that the weapon had been inside the building prior to the incident outside the building?
Again, Jim, with this being active and ongoing, there's stuff I'd like to share with you, but I just can't at this point in time due to the ongoing nature of this investigation. Those are all things that we are looking at. Obviously, again, we have a person of interest that we need to speak with to clarify some things and go forward with it before we present a case to the state's attorney.
And I'm sorry, one more question as it relates to the retired officer who was handling the duties of the school resource officer. Was that individual armed? And
hello.
I'm sorry, Dave, one second, please. Was that individual armed and would they be conducting all of the regular duties of the normal school resource officer?
So I can take part of that, and I think Ms. Gill can answer the other part. The school district hires retired officers to come back and work school security. There was a retired officer working at the school that day to fill in for the fact that the SRO was off. By law, SROs have to be certified and carry out all their duties. So I'm assuming that that officer was there more in a security function versus an SRO function, sir.
Yes, he was more in the essence of a security, but having all that great training that the SPD has provided him his entire career has made him a very good, valuable resource to District 186. And our retired SRO, our retired police officers, whether they were SROs or regular officers, can carry if they have a license. And this officer does have a license and was approved to carry during the time that he was serving the school. The difference is he wouldn't have the direct radio contact and things like that to SPD, but we had so many people and everybody helping and calling 911. We had between SPD got there first, right behind them was the fire truck, and then right behind them was EMS. They all, it seemed like forever, I'm sure in the moment, but it was, I think we looked on the cameras, it was within 9 minutes of the original call to having full service there for the child.
Hello, it's Dave Dahl at WTAX. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yes.
I think my mic test may have gone out over the Zoom, and I apologize for that. Superintendent Gill, you said something about it's your job that everybody be safe. And to overly simplify it, it sounds like it was a failure of that system in that one case. I know it's more complicated than that, but are you examining whether it was a breakdown somewhere, and how can you assure folks that their kids will be safe going to a District 186 school?
Dave, I wake up every day and I just keep putting my head down and working hard to make sure we put all of the systems and practices in place that can keep our students safe. I think we could say that of any location that we would go in any community. You always are concerned about safety, and this has been something that we will take very seriously. We always go through after action reviews whenever there's an incident and see if there's anything we could have done better. We had a great day at Lanphier High School, as the principal R.D. Doss always says. We had dismissed school. Students were walking home, getting on the school bus in front of the school, and this incident happened. As I think, Mr. Winslow or Chief Winslow has said, he's investigating right now. We don't know all of the ins and outs of what happened before, or even some of what happened right after the event with the suspects. So we are still investigating, and we will analyze those situations once we have more details.
Thank you. And I've got one more for the chief, and you may have already gone over this. Is the suspect or possible suspect considered a danger to the public now?
No, we don't consider that person a danger at this point in time. Again, we are actively trying to locate. We anticipate that it'll be done here, in the next within the day, we believe. But obviously, at this point in time, we have no reason to believe that anybody else is at danger. We're looking at all angles as to why this might have occurred, why it may have occurred at school, or where it did outside of the school. Everything is on the plate right now. So with that said, we don't believe that person to be a danger to others, but obviously, we are trying to locate that person, and I anticipate that that'll happen here probably within the next few hours.
Yikes. Thank you.
Superintendent Cole Hankey again with WCIA. The district sent out a statement yesterday saying there would be enhanced security measures at Lanphier High School today. I wonder how long should parents and students be expecting that enhanced security presence for the future here? I know we're going into Thanksgiving holidays. Will that extend past then, or is this something more temporary?
We're going to do whatever we can as long as we need to, Cole. We're going to make sure that students are feeling safe and have conversations with students and make sure that we understand how they're feeling in this incident as well. Today, we did extend our first hour and have plenty of time for students to talk with their teachers, making sure that they had a restorative ability to talk about what's bothering them and understand where they can reach out and get help in the school. We had extra social workers and psychologists on hand. We've had community resources reach out to us from Memorial Behavioral Health as well as SIU School of Medicine. We couldn't thank them enough for their outreach. I've even had other local districts reach out to say if there's anything that they can do. So we'll continue to have those counseling services in place for as long as we need to. We did run the handheld checks as I talked about today. We will continue to, we have a dog that does do locker searches for us around the district on a regular schedule. That will continue to happen. We'll continue to do the wanding and the handheld metal detector devices to make sure that we're showing students that we care about them and that, you know, we are going to be searching for and that we will not tolerate weapons coming into the school. I still think it's yet to be determined whether that weapon was inside the school during the day or not, or whether it was obtained after hours, and that's a part of the ongoing investigation.
Superintendent, you mentioned that you had a long conversation with Pierre's mother. What have you learned about him, I guess, within the past 24 hours?
You know, what we've learned about him is that he was a caring individual that was loved by his family deeply. He has siblings here in our district that we're also wrapping our hands around and supporting. The whole entire family was very into basketball and something that they enjoy. We did talk with the mom briefly about, you know, ways that we could honor Pierre's life. And we are still brainstorming some of those. But one thing that was very near and dear to her heart is that we would still offer him a diploma that she could have and offer her a seat at graduation when it would have been his time to graduate. And that was one of the biggest conversations that we had today. So again, I'm sure we'll have follow-up conversations after this. Right now, today, we were just talking to her about what we were doing to assist in the investigation, and then also just some of the details that she was having to go through. So once again, my heart goes out to her and his entire family as they go through this difficult time. Well, I thank you for being here today and allowing us to share some things. We were obviously very busy yesterday evening and throughout the day today, and appreciate you taking this time this afternoon to be with Chief Winslow and I. Thank you. Have a great day.